Oh, my stuff isn't plugged in. Yo, I have you ever had one of your ears clogged and it would not unclog and it's gone on for like a week?
Um, no, not a week. A couple days maybe.
It's annoying. It gets me paranoid. Like it'll open up for like 2 seconds and then it closes again.
Hmm.
It's throwing me off, man. Spider swamp. Anyways,
Cool.
well, I have a API developer interview coming on Wednesday. You want to shoot me some interview questions? See how,
For an API.
yeah.
Geez, man. What kind of API? So are they working through? Or I mean, do they just mean
Well,
back end?
yeah.
Do they just mean back end developer, or are you specifically designing like API? Because I think that there's two different things.
Designing front end APIs for consumers.
Oh, okay. So you're building real APIs.
Yeah.
Okay. So things like, are you all familiar with things like rate limiting and caching, and then like I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of APIs they're building. Um, but authorization is a big deal there too. Um,
Yeah, I think today I'm probably going to invest probably 4 hours in reviewing the intimate details of OAuth.
yeah, and RESTful REST-like endpoints. Then are you talking about, or are you talking like
Yeah, I would
GraphQL or
no, I would assume it's Rust.
okay?
Who uses GraphQL besides maybe Facebook?
Oh, I've got a little bit of in the work that I work. We've got a little bit of GraphQL going around.
Really? Okay.
Um, yeah, I mean it's really cool in terms of not overfetching data. Like you want to make an endpoint and you want to just get some like basic information about somebody, but not a whole object graph. Well, you can just request what you need. it's it's pretty slick,
Hmm.
but yeah, I don't know.
No, it's for government contractors, so I'm
Okay.
confident that they're not going to be using those modern technologies.
Yeah, well then I don't know. Well, I guess too if it's covered, I don't really know. No idea then what entail. Um, like API development, there's such a breadth to it that, and it's the Wild West. So I don't know. I guess authorization is probably, or getting sure your authentication authorization stuff is down, especially if it's government work. It's probably a big thing. Um, and just general security type type things. Um, but other than that, I don't know what kind of trivia I could throw at you. Do you know what all the verbs mean? The easy questions. When would you do an HTML put instead of a post? And what's the semantic difference between the two?
They both can be used to create a resource. However, put generally is used to perform an update. Also, a patch does the same thing. A patch, you just provide the fields that you want to be updated versus providing the entire value or structure. Um, because both put and create can both perform a creation. You would return a HTTP status code of a 201. But if you're just using a put to update, and you're not necessarily concerned with returning the updated entity, then you can just return the 200 for success. That's the short answer.
Well, good enough. Yeah. I don't know. Do you return 201 created conditionally for a put? These are like the stupid things that I used to like argue about
Well,
stuff or think
so
about.
so when you do a put, one is you can't use a put to create. Usually, when you do that, your URI is going to have the resource and then the ID, the / ID of the resource that you want to create, right? And so you can use a put to say Beach Mobile / customers / 123, and then you could provide the payload of that customer
Yeah,
for
I
that
know.
put, and then you can return a 201.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm wondering is if you return 201 in that case, or why wouldn't you just always return just like, okay, if I did that.
Because 201 always means that something was created, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, it's a success created, but I just wonder with a put if because I mean, then your API's got two like depending on the state of the target resource,
Mm-hmm.
You've got two different responses to the same. It's the same, action. So I'm wondering if it would even be worth distinguishing the two. But
For exposing, I would say yes. You're exposing a front end API and not necessarily a back end API, and so you don't. I would argue you can't really judge the nature of your end users in the wild, as well as the tools that they may rely on. And so I would argue that you probably should expose you should probably expose support for both.
All right.
I would also argue that you should probably support the head verb and the options verb as well for HTTP.
Yeah, I think options gets implemented by default with things. Head's a different story, though. I think.
I like it.
Oh man, I'm too early for this. Can you describe what HADOS is then? Actually, I don't even know.
I thought that was give me a second. I thought
HADOS
that
is
was
like the part of actual REST, real REST that people just don't never do. Which way like majority of people aren't actually doing RESTful logo endpoints.
Yeah, the short answer is no, I can't tell you.
But like if you were to want to get super technical about it, RESTful endpoints require hypertext as the engine of application state, or HADOS, which is just a really fancy way of saying that your API returns links to other things. Hypermedia.
Ask me about status codes, or ask me about how to be helpful to end users when they get a 400 series error or status code.
Oh, so you want to use error, was it error types or whatever? What's the status code for what is it? I'm a teapot.
304.
I don't think that's right.
What's the IM teapot? What does that even mean?
It's a status code.
A
I
teapot?
think it's I'm a teapot. Yeah. Yeah. What's the status code for I'm a teapot?
Well, I would assume it would be 100 series because
No.
100 series is informational. 200 series is success. 300 series is redirect. 400 series is client error. 500 series is server error. I don't know where I am a teapot would fit into that. I don't even understand that question.
Well, it's a status code. It's got a number. You've got like 600
No,
options.
it only goes from 1 to 5.
Well, you got 600 options because there's 600, like 400 series, 300 series, 200 series, 100
Never
series.
heard of teapot.
No. Well, it's a thing.
Why is it a thing? What does it do?
I don't know. It's just there.
Okay.
I'm not wrong. Look it up. It's a status code. Today you will have learned something. And now they're gonna use this as their trick question to see if you have any API knowledge, and you'll be like, "Oh yeah, I know what I'm a teapot is." And they'll be like, "You're hired." It'll be all because of me.
14, I'm a teapot.
I'm not wrong, am I? You looked really disturbed by that. Oh my god. Oh jeez.
I'm on Stack Overflow looking at it.
Yeah, I don't know if it was a joke originally or what, but I don't know the history of it. I just know that that's 418. Yeah.
All right, well, that's the end of the
All
road.
right. Why would you use why would you use a 419 status code over like a 400?
Well, 418 is I'm a teapot.
It's 419. I think it's
I don't
419. It's
know.
either 419 or 422 or the
400 is a bad request.
Mhm.
I don't know what 419 is.
I think it's unprocessable entity. But it could also be 422. I can't remember. It's 422. I can't remember what 419 is. 419.
I'm a gambler.
Yeah, he's got to ask some good questions.
I'm gonna create an
Oh, that's
OnlyFans
session
account
inspired.
so gambler can subscribe to it.
But unprocessable entity means like your unprocessable entity means that you're like your request was good in form, but semantically it was bad. It couldn't be processed for some reason. Like it's probably a better way to handle errors where like you've got they just provided data that is good in form, but when you do all the validation of it, it's not in a state where you could actually process it. Like I don't know.
You think
Your business
people have ever
rules
been
prevent
strangled with dental floss?
Hmm?
You think people have ever been strangled with dental floss?
Probably.
I know
Although it's pretty.
People have been blinded by dental floss before.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Asians.
Oh Jesus.
All
Oh man. I
right,
walked
I'm
right
done.
into that. All right, I'll give you another one. 401 versus 403.
401 is 403 is forbidden, meaning that they don't have permission, even though they're authenticated, they don't have permission to execute a particular operation. A 401 is that's the unauthorized. So that's when they haven't been authenticated.
Yeah. Well, I think they could be, I suppose.
They're unauthorized. It's 401 unauthorized, which is kind of misleading because it's not about authorization, it's about authentication.
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking through. It's like, is there a case where you would have a 401 come back in a case where you might otherwise use forbidden, but Because it's really the same thing. It's like you're authorized to access the resources, but you're forbidden from this particular one. So you could be like, yeah, no, yeah. Huh. Well, it's about endpoint security versus probably resource security. You're unauthorized for the endpoint is what it means versus the resources that you're targeting. I think is really the difference, semantic difference there. But dude, I spent way too long in my life with status code issues. Like I've boiled it down to just using like a handful of ones. Like I don't even know that there's a point in doing 201 creates, but you get people who are very dogmatic about it. I guess there's a benefit in that you're supposed to return an ID, and then there's like the opportunity to redirect to the fetch and get it. Although you could use C
I
other
would,
for that, so I don't know.
if it were me, I would just create like a library that would basically, if I'm doing a create, then I would automatically have a dedicated class that would do the validation of the input, the parameters, and just automatically spit out if that validation fails the appropriate status code.
Yeah, that's what ASP.NET does, like with the model validation.
Yeah,
I mean, on
I
an
wouldn't
API
know.
controller, it'll do that, anyways.
Okay.
Oh, versioning. Have you looked at API versioning? That is probably a worthwhile thing to catch up on if you haven't.
Well, like beachmobile.com/v1/customers, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's literally my answer. The one once the API gets published, there's no modifying it. You would just create a V2, and then you have an opportunity within your status code um, response to detail the new version.
Yeah, but so you can change it. The trick is you're not supposed to do breaking changes. So additions are fine, but any change of type or um, other than just giving like a broader definition is well, I don't know. If you go from like something that's non-null to something that is nullable, I don't know that you would need to create a new version because you're not going to have. Well, you could have. Actually, that would be a breaking change. If you have something that's nullable and you make it not null, I don't think that would be a breaking change.
Your regression suite would basically dictate the policy moving forward.
Well, you just have
I
to think
forgot
about the.
developers don't write tests. Never mind.
Well, they do, but you gotta like you just gotta think about whether it's going to break your client's endpoints or not, and then that's
What's fascinating is all of the F# shops that I've worked at, like an automated test suite has always been like a first class citizen of their system.
hmm
Very almost all the C# shops that I've worked for, it was always a nice to have, but it wasn't really mandatory.
That's because C# ones are getting work done. I'm just fucking with you. Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
Like the culture is just very different.
Yeah.
I
I
would
don't know.
argue that F# developers they pick F# because they think that there's higher quality, and it removes one or more sets of or classes of error types. And your C# shops, they just over time they just write code. Over time, they just write code that really can't be tested, and they give up.
What do you mean they give up?
Well,
Oh, on tests. I see.
they need
Yeah.
to get things done, so they start accruing technical debt. The code that they write isn't inherently testable, and then they just start giving up
Yeah.
for the sake of there's more value in shipping and patching than there is in maintaining and evolving.
Shipping and patching is maintaining and evolving.
I know.
But yeah, maybe there is a truth there.
Well, when I say shipping and patching, you can evolve a code base. I
Yeah.
would argue patching is not evolving, or maybe I should use the word extending. Extending and evolving to me is the same thing. When you're patching bugs, you're not extending the code base.
Well, evolving is to change shapes, or forms. Extending is to add additional capability to something, right? So, although adding additional through evolution could be a thing, I don't know. I'm just trying to think semantically,
Evolving,
what do those words mean and why?
evolving would be make more robust
Yeah.
in the pursuit of anti-fragile. You like that?
Yeah. You're a regular Nassim Taleb.
I'm surprised you remember the author's name.
Yeah.
Where is Gamler? I can't believe my number one only fan is not here.
Oh,
You
you're
probably
only
didn't like.
fan?
You probably didn't like the joke I made about. Oh, I'm going to create an OnlyFans account so Gamler can subscribe.
Yeah. You'd have to create a site called OnlyFan. You get one fan. Whoever claims that is now your fan, and now you're screwed. You can't have other fans. So, oh man.
There's no more ice fishing. Take two. There's no more ice fishing now that spring is like a couple days away, right?
Correct. Well, it's already spring, I think technically, but
That's
yeah,
the time
the
to feel.
lakes are ice out. So, and the season ended for big fish. So
I wanted to take a trip to the Grand Canyon.
yeah, I had somebody I went to the Boundary Waters with a couple times. Well, 3-4 times. He took a trip to the Grand Canyon. He did like a backpacking thing where basically this guide takes you down through and you start at the one rim and you go to the other rim, and they make your food and all that kind of stuff, and you just
How,
backpack.
how far is the Grand? What's the distance of the Grand Canyon?
I assume it's different in different places. I don't know where they
I would want a
went.
motorcycle down it or ATV in it.
Oh, yeah, this was a hike. Just got to get your cowboy boots so you don't get bit by a rattlesnake.
Really?
I don't know. I think so.
Why did I type in Grand Canyon length on Stack Overflow? Hold on.
Maybe you should have written Grand Canyon girth. Length would be length is how long it is from end. Just kidding.
It's 277 miles. Yeah, that's like
That's
damn
from
near.
end to end. That's why I said
That's a,
girth.
that's a small state. How does someone hike 277 miles?
I don't think it's that. I think I said that's why you have to look up the girth, not the width, or the length, because the
The
length
Grand
would be the
Canyon,
total from end to end, because it's a long stretch
what
of.
girth? It's a trench, right?
Yeah.
How does a trench have a girth?
Well, if you start, the trench starts here and it goes to here, and
And
it's
why do we say girth?
277
How come we
miles.
don't say diameter? I don't understand.
Girth was just a really stupid way of saying what's the width of it, not the length of it. It's all about the girth, man, not the width or the length.
I've never been told that.
How wide is the Grand Canyon? 18 miles. It's averaging 10 miles. Yeah. Its narrowest point is 600 feet wide.
Shouldn't there be earthquakes there? I mean, how did it develop if there's no? I mean, okay, let me start over. Grand Canyon looks like, what do you call it? A faults, or
No,
it
Grand
looks
Canyon
like,
is erosion of like a
I
river
thought it was
erosion.
tectonic plates that were like pulling away from each other or something.
No, that's like the one in California, a fault line. The Grand Canyon is a isn't that a series of just erosion over time, water? Is it the Colorado River or something like that? I can't remember what river it is, but
Mm.
it's basically just like you start with a flat plane and then water starts trickling over it downhill basically, and then all of a sudden just starts taking a shit ton of sediment with it until it goes to the Grand Canyon. But maybe, I don't know. I don't know. You should go to the Sturgis and then go to the Badlands.
I thought Sturgis is in South Dakota.
Yeah, the Badlands, which are in South Dakota too, they're kind of neat. Like in
Where's
terms of
Badlands?
the
Oh, you
Badlands.
mean Burning Man? That's what you
No,
meant.
no, no. The Badlands. The Badlands are like they're a bunch of like rock formations and different like
Is that what I
canyons
see
and
in the
stuff.
movies with that little hand rock formation?
No, if you've seen like Dances with Wolves, they might have had the Badlands in it, but
You know what state has the hand?
the hand.
Yeah, what state resembles a hand? And
Oh,
usually, when you,
Michigan.
when you ask the natives directions, they pull out their hand.
Oh yeah, Michigan probably.
Yeah,
Yeah, look
you're
up
pretty smart.
Badlands National Park. It's really cool. Like how I don't know how it eroded over time, and eventually the Badlands won't be there. But obviously that's going to be way beyond our lifetime. Some pretty cool spots out there. But the rock formations are really neat because they're all like I don't know, they just look different. I don't know how to describe them.
I was binge watching the last 24 hours of a whole bunch of different celebrity deaths because that's what I do in my off time. I watch
Celebrity deathmatch.
cartels, gangs, police, military, anything that's associated to violence. This one was more associated to drug overdose. You remember River Phoenix?
Yeah.
I did not know that River Phoenix brother starred in
Joaquin.
Gladiator and Joker.
Joker. Yeah.
I did not know that.
And Napoleon and
I did not know
a
that.
shit ton of other movies.
Did not know that. Someone told me that yesterday. I never knew.
Yeah.
Who did I talk to yesterday?
I think he's an Academy Award winner, isn't he?
No, that was 2 days ago. I did not know.
Well, now you know.
You know how River Phoenix died, right?
I don't know. A drug overdose, maybe.
Yeah, he took a combination of heroin and cocaine,
Oof.
and then he fell over.
And died. Wasn't him and was it Macaulay Culkin or something really good friends? Or no? I might be thinking of someone else.
I think he's way older than Macaulay Culkin.
Weren't they in a movie together? I thought they were in like.
I got introduced to River Phoenix when I saw Indiana Jones Last Crusade, and River Phoenix
Plays
was
the
like a hobo or something on a train. Well, he wasn't. I don't know if he was a hobo.
Wasn't he a Boy Scout trying to like?
He was on the train. He had a whip, and he was trying to get a lion away from him with the whip. That's how I got introduced to him.
Yeah, he must be.
Hold
I
on.
must be thinking of someone else. I don't know. Because I thought was it Stand By Me?
No, you're thinking about Russell Simmons.
An 86 film with.
Oh, he was in Stand By Me.
Yeah.
I mean, when I was watching or listening to the documentary, they mentioned that movie. I don't know what character he played in Stand By Me.
But I don't know if
I
Macaulay
confused
Culkin was
Stand
in
By
that.
Me and Lean on Me. Lean on Me was with Morgan Freeman when, like, 80 years ago, he was middle aged and he was the principal. Stand
Yeah.
By Me was the teacher and the Mexican gangs, right?
Yeah, must be. I don't remember.
And
I'm
the
getting
teacher
Stand
got
By Me and
murdered.
like I think My Girl or something like mixed up. I don't know.
You can Stand By Me and a Bronx Tale mixed up.
Oh, he was with Corey Feldman. Remember Corey Feldman?
I
Do
met a
you
girl
remember
that,
Corey Feldman?
yeah, Boy Meets World.
No, that's not Boy Meets World. Corey Feldman was like he was in Lost Boys and The Goonies and Stand By Me, and he would play. He was also did the voicing for one of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles in a live action film.
Oh no. I met a girl 3 or 4 days ago. She looked like what's the
Hey,
what's
you
the
guys.
what's the girl from Boy Meets World?
Oh, Topanga.
Man, yeah, she had the lips of Topanga. Topanga was hot.
Yeah, I think everyone had a crush on her back in the day.
Still,
Yeah, I
I would
think
be a
what's her name?
stepfather. I would be a
Dana or something
stepfather to
like
her
that.
children. That's her real name.
I think it is. But it's funny. Her a couple years ago, her husband blew up on Twitter because he was eating a box of cinnamon toast crunch and he found pieces that looked like shrimp. And then so this guy finds this, and then people were figured out that he was. So then he became Topanga's husband. Found shrimp. It's the most oddest combination of things. Topanga's husband found dried up shrimp in his cinnamon toast crunch.
And that
That
made
was that
headlines.
was in Twitter's like that was a big trending on Twitter thing one day. It's hilarious. Thinking back to it now. Oh man,
After you're done with development, what do you want to do?
I don't know. I'm already done with development. I just haven't exited yet. No,
You want to be
I
a
really don't
farmer?
know. It'd probably be the only job left to do. I mean, I don't know. I keep every like few months. I have this cycle of AI is going to take our jobs. It's over. To like, and then like, no, it's not. And then it's like, yes, it is. No, it's not. Yes, it is. It depends on the tooling around it to get in place. But um,
I was invited to fill out an application to be a volunteer officer for Miami Beach.
oh, yeah, might as well.
I told him I
Those
don't
two
want a
fun.
gun. I just want a taser. Just give me a taser. And I want to join on serving warrants. I'll take point. I'll kick in the door, and then they can have the guns behind me, and then they could just follow up. I want to kick in doors, dude.
Might as well. I mean, you're not getting any younger.
Just kicking doors.
Just
Ever
kick them
since I
in.
saw, ever since I saw Training Day, I just want to kick in doors. Hand them a Chinese food menu when they ask for to see the warrant, just like in the movie. So,
Or you could just make a bunch of noises that sound like kicking a door and then shooting guns, and then just go to the Blue Oyster.
no, I want to kick in doors. I showed you like the videos of Tank the Bounty Hunter, the guy in Cleveland.
Yeah. Do you recognize that
He,
reference, by the
he,
way?
he targets white people. I think that's hilarious.
Might as well. I mean, whatever. You can freely target white people. So
Well, while everybody's still woke, yeah, that's going to change soon. The pendulum is going to, what's the word? Fill in the blank. The pendulum's going to
shift back,
swing back,
swing back.
swing back. Yeah.
What? So that we can get back to good old targeting of minorities.
Jim Crow, yeah, the good old days. So
I don't know. Who knows? People in like inner cities will probably start targeting Hispanics soon, just with the influx of illegal aliens. At least you don't have to worry about squatting in your state now, right?
Oh no, no, not at all. Well, I hope that covers like ex-girlfriends because I've had issues trying to kick them out. Man, man,
They have
police would
to
be
leave
like,
eventually.
well,
You just
you have
change
to
the
go through
locks.
it. No, you get arrested for that. You that's the whole thing. Like someone they care less about the person that pays taxes and like is a productive member of society and pays into the system. And they care more about the people that abuse the system. Like it's weird. And
Yeah.
DeSantis, he recognized that. So like I've had issues where like, people start getting out of pocket with me, talking back to me. I'm like, yo, you gotta go. Right? I ain't going nowhere. No, I live here. Like, no, you don't pay any bills here. Like, go. Like, no, you ain't gonna talk to me like this. And then like, yo, if you don't go, I'm not gonna put my hands on you. I'm just gonna have the police put their hands on you. And then the police like, and then please ask me, do I want to go to a hotel to cool off? I'm like, no, I live here. Like, ask her, like, send her away. So
She's trespassed.
that's my
Yeah,
history.
I wonder why you can't trespass like someone like.
Like wives and ex-girlfriends and baby mamas.
Well, I mean anybody who doesn't lives in your abode that like a wife would co-own whatever you own, so that's a mute point. But a girlfriend or like someone you don't want to be around anymore doesn't. So, but I
Because
just
there would
don't
be a surge
understand.
of homelessness.
I guess the squatting thing goes back to England or whatever, but I just don't. I don't understand like
I know
why
a guy
it's
that
a
was
thing.
I know a guy that was squatting and he died from like carbon monoxide poisoning.
And now his family is millionaires.
No. No.
Hmm.
He was a best friend of my childhood best friend.
Oh,
So he never woke up.
is that like saying the husband of my wife?
No, it's not. It's my childhood best friend. And then as we got older, we
Oh,
drifted apart
gotcha.
and he had a new
New
best
best
friend.
friend. Yeah. Okay.
It was kind of weird. Keep on that shit.
I am my own grandpa. You ever listen to that?
Yeah, that movie is what movie was that?
I'm not sure. It's got the. Yeah. No. I think it's a song by another guy, but I know which movie you're talking
I'm
about.
grandpa. Something so, something, something so. I'm on grandpa. What movie was that?
I don't know, man. I'm
It was
tired.
in a genre of like Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah. Movie. Reek. No, The Stupids.
That sounds like it.
Yeah, The Stupids. That's what it was called.
Can you imagine writing the script for that movie?
Seen this? I've only seen this clip from it.
Did you find my mini bull terrier yet?
I told you to go down Facebook rehoming groups and find them on there, or Facebook puppy groups, breeding groups. That'd be the best place to probably find a dog. No cap. My daughter said that for the first time the other day that I've heard
It's
her
not
say it.
good.
No cap.
You got to
My wife's
remove
like,
her from the
what?
public school system.
What? What? My wife's like, what? What does that mean? I'm like, yeah,
What?
it's no cap, obviously. You don't know? No, I don't know what no cap is.
How old is she?
My wife, she's like,
No, your daughter.
well, my daughter, she's 11. She'll be 12 this
Oh,
year.
I thought she was younger. Okay.
No, no. She'll be 12 this year. My son's 7. Oh, god damn. I'm tired.
I have another one.
No. My, I have 2. I've got a nephew and and another niece or nephew on the way here soon this year. But no, I think I'm done with that. I mean, if it happens, it happens. But yeah,
Have you ever like dated a really hot chick and
no.
you purposely like try to sneak like your semen into her to keep her
Oh no, dude, I
so she
I
wouldn't
got
leave you?
no, dude. I got married when I was 20, so I haven't played any sort of field like that. That's a whole set of problems I've never had.
Never try to trap anybody.
No, unless I trap my current wife, maybe. I don't know, my only wife.
Yo, these phones are literally surgically attached to these people's hands, man. They cannot walk out in public without, like, they literally have pockets and they literally just freely walk with their phones attached to their hands.
Like they just like I can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
Jeez. Mine fell off. My
Like,
surgical attachment failed.
that has to be the best example of product market fit ever. The smartphone.
Sure.
Before these things got smart, I don't remember a demographic of people always holding onto their phone, no matter what. Like they literally have pockets. They have purses. They have fanny packs. Nope. They literally they prefer to have their hand occupied.
Why do we still call them phones when like phone is just one capability of them, and it's probably the least used capability?
You actually have a point. They're they're not. People don't talk on it as much, which
Yeah, I
is
mean people
weird.
do, but it's rare. It's
I
like
prefer after two text messages, I'd rather just make the phone call and get it out the way.
yeah. I mean, what would it be like? It'd be
Because I
fun,
don't
like
like context switching, man. Like I'll be walking, I'll get a text message, and I'll attempt to return it, and then I'll try to enjoy my walk again. I'll get another text message. I'm like, yo, man, like, and I'll just try to call. I can't just, and then 30 seconds later, like I can't do it. Like how is that cool?
that reminds me of that. Did you ever see the Lord of the Pronouns skit? I think it was South Park did it.
No, but I'm probably gonna watch it after I get off this call.
It just reminds me of a scene from that when you just were like, "Dun, dun, dun, dun."
The funniest.
It's funny if you've seen Lord of the Rings, right? The full.
Oh, I can never stay awake during it, and I almost threw up on the ride at Universal Studios.
But you've seen at least the very first part of the first episode where they explain the rings of power, and 5 were given to the dwarves and 9 to the whatever of men, and blah blah blah. That's kind of key to understand to get it. Yeah. Anyways, the Lord of the Pronouns.
The pronouns. The funniest South Park show I've watched, and Boondocks is on par. I don't know if you ever watched Boondocks, so that's funny too. I didn't get hip to it until like 20 years later. But the funniest one I saw on South Park was they purposely were seeking out unattractive women, like fat women, to be their girlfriends, and then they would Photoshop the photos of them and then share it with their friends and discuss who has a hotter girlfriend. And that was
I don't
hilarious.
remember that episode.
That was hilarious.
I have to look that one up. I started watching their one episode about their one like I don't know if they're like a movie now or what, but they did one with Disney and where they make fun of Kathleen Kennedy and that. But another whole subplot in that is that AI takes all the jobs from people. So they've got like they've got these people with degrees and stuff like sitting on the outside of Home Depot with signs being like,
That's going to be me in a couple weeks.
like, I'll do your tax returns for for whatever, and then they have like these Mexican guys roll up in these like really expensive vehicles because they know how to fix shit. It's pretty funny. That whole subplot of that was just hilarious.
I'm gonna hold up a sign saying "Code for Food."
Yeah, little code for food.
It's mind-boggling. I mean, I think we've discussed it enough, but the amount of tech jobs there are out there in air quotes, and the amount of people that can't even get an interview for those jobs. And then in Biden's State of the Union, the economy is strong, the unemployment is at an all-time low. It's just so disconnected, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like the job market is pretty rough right now for tech, but it's like I just don't understand because it still feels like there's a lot of jobs being posted, and
It's a lot, and people say that they're like ghost jobs. Like I don't. There's going to be a documentary written about this or on this. Like what's happening behind the scenes? It doesn't make sense for there to be so many job postings and so many people that have been unemployed for 6 months, 8 months, a year,
well, it could be that
and consistent massive layoffs. Like what is happening behind the scenes? Like what is the policy or the conspiracy that someone's trying to like enforce? I don't understand what's happening.
well, maybe there was, so like we did a bunch of tech hiring during, COVID.
Post COVID.
So around COVID time, there was a ton of tech hiring, and it was a really good time to be in tech, like in terms of pay and all that. And then we have all these tech layoffs afterwards because they overgrew, they over impacted, like assessed the impact that COVID would have on like usage over time or whatever. But um, so they shed a lot of people, but maybe the people that got into tech just shouldn't have been in tech, and now you've just got a glut of people that you have a lot of jobs open, but they're being more selective about who they hire. At the same time, you have a wide pool of people that don't meet that selective requirement. So
What
could
percentage of
be, I
people
mean,
are in tech
possibly.
that don't? What percentage of people that are in tech that don't have computer science degrees?
I don't know. Actually, that's a good question. I
I
really
would say
don't know.
probably 80%. Man, it got saturated.
Yeah, I was always worried about this. Worried about it even like a decade ago about market saturation with software development. And
Dude, I sacrificed my hairline for my computer science degree, and now it doesn't even matter.
yeah, I mean, I didn't sacrifice a hairline, but I went to school. I don't like computer science part of it. Those classes, other than like one or two of them, came pretty easy. Like
I had to
anyone
take data structures
programming
and
was like
algorithms twice. I had to take discrete mathematics twice.
it's foundations.
I had to take
Foundations was
physics twice.
and assembly was probably
I
the
spent a lot of
roughest.
time in school. I think I would do well now because I know how to learn. But like,
I still don't know how to learn.
I've I've always been a slow learner, man. Like things just didn't come natural to me. Now
Yeah,
everybody
no.
thinks I'm smart, but
Well, they're right. I mean,
I
just
mean,
let them
over
be.
time, I learned how to learn.
Except for you gotta take jobs with less pay so that you can keep your lights on. You just
I'm
gotta
going to
like
be
sell your crib
the
and go to the rural
only
areas.
Microsoft certified Azure solutions developer at Home Depot sitting in the parking lot waiting for a pickup truck or a van to pick me up to go to a house. That's going to be me. I'll probably do it this afternoon. After that.
That's how a bad porno starts.
Awkward silence.
Anyways, no, yeah, I don't know. I don't know what would be the thing. I had this thought the other day because so we got our new dog, right? Dog probably has a 15 plus or minus 5 year lifespan, right? It's
Okay.
probably
How strange
uh,
yet?
yeah. He hasn't had an accident. I can't remember a time this week.
Okay.
And he knows how to, like, we put these bells up, and like I'd ring them when I'd go out with him or whatever. But now he'll go to the door and ring them himself. So he'll let us know he wants to go outside.
Mm.
So he's a smart dog. But I was thinking about him, and I'm like, well, so in 15 years, he might be dead. And when that happens, I'll have another 10 years left to work before retirement age. According to like when you can access your like tax sheltered money.
They're gonna move it up.
Yeah,
They're
and
gonna move it to 80 20 years from now.
millennials will get fucked. Fuck Gen Z. Millennials have already paid into it. Damn it. You got to change it for the next generation that's not born yet. If you're gonna do that, because then they'll know nothing. You know.
Or
But
you just
yeah,
need to
I'm
go
like,
to
I can't do
war,
this.
colonize a country, take their resources, so you could bump the retirement age down.
I just want to build a hamburger shack and basically have it be tech driven. People come in, they order on kiosks, and then it's simple. They just get burgers without very many topping options, so that it's fast. You
Why
give them a stack.
burgers?
What?
Why burgers?
Because people like hamburgers, and we're in the Midwest, or I'm in the Midwest, anyways.
It's boring.
But yeah, I mean, but it'd be kind of. I've always wanted a place where you could just go get a sack of hamburgers, like nothing special. Just here's a fucking sack of like 10 hamburgers, kind of like a White Castle, but not nasty, or without
I've
all
had
the
White
options.
Castle like one time. There was one in East Cleveland. I'm almost confident it's no longer there.
My wife and
There,
I, when we were younger, went to one. We sought it out because she was in school. She was doing like a cheer competition down in the Twin Cities. So I went and I looked up. I'm like, okay, there's this White Castle. We're gonna go to it. So we went there, and like it was in like it must have just been in like the most rundown area of St. Paul or whatever. And went there, and it was like the food was gross, and like the the pop machines were flat. They had cameras everywhere that said like cameras installed for your protection and stuff. Like it was run down. But I don't know. The idea of White Castle sounds amazing, like
well, you
sliders and
know,
stuff. But
well, I think most people know about White Castle only because of Harold and Kumar.
yeah. But I mean, it was a big chain for a while. It still has like
It was
out
not.
there. Yeah.
Long
But
John Silver's. Have you
I don't
heard
know.
of
There's
Long
something
John
about the way that
Silver's?
sliders are cooked. Yeah, yeah. We had a Long John's here for like a hot minute, but
Arby's.
Arby's is big.
It's
They
not.
have the meats. Dude, Arby's here is freaking packed all the time. It is so busy.
I've had Arby's maybe 3 times in my entire life.
Dude, like
Since I've been in the
Arby's.
state of Florida, I've never had Arby's. Same thing with Mr. Hero. I haven't had Mr. Hero.
I haven't had Mr. I don't even know what that is.
It's just a sub restaurant.
It sounds like one. You ever had Culver's?
No.
Dude, Culver's is like my go-to for hamburgers and stuff now. Culver's is the best.
If I ever get a job offer, I'm going to like take a vacation, dude. Vacation. I'm either gonna hop on a cruise boat or go to South America. I would like to go to the Philippines or Vietnam for like a couple weeks.
Go to Nam.
I want to be a digital nomad, but this one is like federal contractor, so they're not going to let you take your laptop outside the continental United States.
Yeah, probably not. Time to explore within the United States. There's a whole world to look at. You haven't even been to South Dakota.
So there's nothing there but reservations and bison.
Deadwood's kind of a hopping little city if you go to that at the right time. It's like a Vegas, like they've got gambling and stuff. But
That's where Sturgis is.
Sturgis is close to Deadwood, but not Deadwood.
You were here in Orlando like 6 months ago, right?
No, it was a year ago. I was in Orlando.
How did you like
and
it?
like 2 months. It's fine.
Is it what you expected?
I've been to Orlando like 3-4 times, so yeah. I mean, it's what I expect. I mean, it's nice. I like the Airbnbs we stayed at. I like how everything has pools. Like we don't have pools in houses in Minnesota very often because the ground freezes. So, but yeah, the kids love the pools, man. On the back of it, we could have just gone and stayed at one of these big ass Airbnbs with a pool, and kids would have been happy. Not even going to like Disneyland or Universal or any of that or Disney World. So
Yeah, you should move to Florida.
no, Florida. I mean, it's good, but I just
So you could double or triple your cost of living.
We don't have hurricanes here. We don't have gators. We don't have deadly snakes. The only thing that Minnesota has that sucks is cold and mosquitoes. Everything else is great. Cold and mosquitoes.
And meth heads.
Yeah. It just reminded me. So my brother lives in South Dakota, and he told me about this campaign they had. It was on billboards everywhere because they were having a meth problem in South Dakota. And so their big campaign slogan was, "Meth, we're on it."
That's effective.
Yeah, so they had billboards saying, "Meth, we're on it." Everywhere.
I wonder how much they spend on that campaign.
I don't know. They probably spent an ad agency like $1 million, and then all the
I
billboards.
don't think they ever have a bigger issue with fentanyl. That's the number one killer now for people for between the ages of like 18 and
years
40.
ago. Hey, they did the "Meth, we're on it" one. How are you supposed to say that you're an American if you have not seen a wall drug billboard?
Well, down here we have a whole bunch of billboards and signs for free HIV testing. I didn't really notice it until like people visited and told me like, "Yo, I think you guys have a problem." I wasn't really paying attention. They like to have a good time in Miami. I go jogging. I have to like hopscotch over spent condoms when I'm running barefoot on the beach.
Yeah. Ew.
I don't know why. I'll never understand that.
Yeah. Huh.
How do we kill another 10 minutes? I can't believe Gambler's not on here, man. I'm very disappointed.
Yeah. Maybe it's.
I have 13 observers on here, which is
maybe because it's Good Friday.
Is it?
Mm-hmm.
Today's a holiday?
Well, in the Christian.
I mean, are banks closed today? Is the Dow Jones closed?
I don't know if does the Dow Jones observe. Do the markets observe Good Friday?
Dow Jones closes for any borderline holiday.
Let me check.
I get frustrated.
Markets are closed for Good Friday. You can still queue and stock ETF orders. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Wall Street is lazy. They don't like working. Freeloaders.
And my portfolio would look really good if I only looked at like year to date or like the last year. If you just take out all the crypto shit that I had, like
I liquidated all my crypto a couple weeks ago.
God, at one point, like I was up like, what was I up? Which I didn't have a lot of
all
money,
it.
but I was up like $3,000-$4,000 off of like, I don't know, like a $6,000-$7,000, and then it just like tanked.
My stuff is flatline right now.
My
so I
lowest
guess
was like down 2,000, but now I'm on a consistent upward pace because I just put most of it in Vanguard
there you go.
and some other dividend yielding stocks.
I purchased JP Morgan last week. It was like rising for the past 6 weeks, and then when I bought it, it just flatlined.
Well, you got to buy on the dip, man. Why buy it on the upward trend?
Because it was a bank, and I just assumed that things will only get better once they start lowering the interest rates.
Gotcha. So you got your API developer interview. Got anything else in the pipeline? You gonna work at Darkling? You're gonna go contribute time to Darkling and make that successful.
Why is everybody messing? I think it's a conspiracy that I get multiple text messages from different people literally within like a second of each other.
Are they watching your stream? Be like,
They
why is
probably
this?
are. I probably have like 3 to 4 exes that probably watch this stuff. Losers. Anyway, wait, hold on. What do you say? I'm confusing.
Instead, are you gonna go? Well, you should go work on Darkling.
I was actually reading that. I don't know
Yeah, I
how to
saw
say
you
his
post
name.
it and I read it. I didn't realize they like abandoned their own editor and stuff like that. So
Yeah, I was reading his blog was long. Yeah, I said hi to him a couple days ago, and then I was looking at his activity, and I saw his blog. This blog was a long essay, man.
mm-hmm.
I only read like halfway through that article.
Yeah, me too.
It was a lot.
It was too long. And about the only thing I took away is that they abandoned.
He writes really well, though. I'm like,
yeah,
man, he wrote really well.
probably half GPT written.
You think so?
Write an essay about
It's so personal.
Oh, well, maybe not. I don't know.
Well, personal as in personal to the business.
Yeah.
So Dark Lane, I thought was you write a service and it just automatically provisions cloud resources behind the scenes, like your data store, your I would assume your secrets and connection streams. Your I don't know if it's smart enough to spin up Azure Functions versus an app service. I won't say that this Azure certification that I have, because I'm a Microsoft certified Azure solutions developer, I'm not sure if it's worthless, but I really expected the heavens to open up, and it didn't. So I'm gonna be at Home Depot later in the parking lot.
Hey, maybe you should get like a 5-week boot camp for TypeScript, and then you'll get like shit ton of offers.
Are you being serious or are you joking?
I don't know. I mean,
that question comes up. Like, yeah, I got a text message from a investor at like 4 or 5 in the morning, and he was looking for an F# developer. He came across my name. He was in India at the time.
Oh,
and I was like,
did you send him my way? Because I saw somebody said I got your information from Scott.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I haven't responded to it. I'm just like,
okay.
I don't know this person.
Yeah.
Unless they're in Vancouver.
So I hopped on the call at like 4 or 5 in the morning to talk to him, and he was asking me if I had. He said the front end was done in TypeScript.
Yeah.
And he asked me if I had TypeScript experience. I said no.
Guarantee you'd like TypeScript.
I probably would.
No, I mean you'd like the type system anyways, because the type system for it is very robust. Like,
TypeScript is it a general purpose language, or is it only for like the client?
Well, you could use it with Node on the back end, so you could write APIs in TypeScript.
Okay.
Technically, yeah, the rest majority would be web apps, but you can write complex Node applications with it.
So
you
what's the
could do your
argument for TypeScript besides the fact that it runs everywhere? Is that the argument for TypeScript?
well, it's Java. I mean, it's the argument for JavaScript would be it runs everywhere, but the argument for TypeScript is that you make that scalable because you're adding a type system, and so you get all the benefits of the type system that you would get with any scalable system. So that's the main thing, but it does have a very good robust type system in terms of type checking and discriminated unions and exhaustive checking and all that kind of stuff. And literals can be types too, which is really nice.
Is that your preferred language?
TypeScript, to
Yeah.
be honest, I am this close to liking TypeScript over C# now because I just
Yeah.
there's things that you can do with the type system that are just much nicer. Sort of specifically around discriminating unions and stuff like that.
So they have your maybe types. They have your
Oh yeah.
result type.
Yep. Well, yeah. I mean, you can make a maybe type. I don't know if they have one built in.
Is pattern matching, or is it just switch statements? If it has discriminated unions, it has to
It's
have
got
pattern
discriminated
matching.
unions. Yeah. I don't know if it's got the pattern matching I don't know if it's got the pattern matching that you would do with that you could do in F# or C#, but I mean it definitely has discriminating and exhaustive checking, which is nice. But I don't know if you could do the kind of is and then have the contents are equal this or whatever. But yeah, I don't know.
I just saw something funny. I'll say it anyway. So I started thinking about TypeScript. I just started I don't know, spacing out. So when Trump gets reelected, he's probably gonna have a huge campaign for the migrants, right? So, and there'll probably be cash incentives. So what I was gonna do was I was gonna go ahead, go to Texas, like El Paso, and I was going to stop by a Home Depot parking lot, right? And I'll probably bring a van with a trailer attached to take more people and brag about how I have a lot of work. I need as many hands as possible, and then drop them off at the border. That's what I was thinking about when you were talking about TypeScript. And I would get my money, right? And they would deport them. So I thought that was funny. Turn them into the border or the Homeland Security agents, and then collect my check, and that's how I would make my living.
But anyways, yeah. So though, actually, if you take one thing, I would say front end is probably the biggest risk of getting replaced by AI. I don't know about your back end as much. That's gonna hold out, but front end.
What, you don't think React's going to be here for another 36 months?
No. Maybe.
I really wish they would enforce a university degree or a computer science degree, so I don't have to compete.
Caught somebody. Maybe that's starting to pick up again because I caught a tweet the other day saying somebody's company switched, said they're no longer hiring self-taught developers. They're only going with the university degree. I don't know. I mean, it maybe makes sense. There's a lot of people who are good that are self-taught, but it's just maybe the idea is that because there's such a glut of people now, it's not so much that you don't want to hire good self-taught people. It's how do you whittle that down to a list of people you actually should interview? And it's pretty easy if you just say take out self-taught developers to just get your pool in within a size that's manageable, probably.
You also have to think
I'd have to
about the
guess.
havoc that it's wreaked on universities. Have they
Screw universities.
deprecated, or not even deprecated? Have they removed their computer science programs?
No, and computer
Especially
science
if,
isn't.
I mean, who's going to do it? I would argue it takes. So my stereotype is just going to like seep through because I wasn't a traditional student. I had to work for a living. Like I had to put myself through school, and so it took me 6 years between community college and the university to finally have a, a bachelor's. Right.
Hmm.
Um, it doesn't make sense for someone to pay 50,000 or between $40,000 to, I don't know, $80,000 for a degree and 4 to 5 years of their life when people are getting the quote unquote hands on, maybe not fundamentals, but hands on practice, and they're getting that in 6 months.
Yeah. No,
So this goes back to
that's
what you were saying earlier. Like they may require a computer science or computer engineering degree, but it may be too late. If these universities, I would assume that you have to have a minimum amount of enrollment to make it worthwhile to even pay the professors to teach or to lecture in these specific.
I'm pretty sure it's still fine. Like computer science
It's
is.
not. I I know for a fact that if there's not a certain number of enrolled students, then a
Then it should
class
have
won't be
died.
taught.
It
I've
should
been
have
through that
died in
before.
like 2009, 2008. Because when I went through, we had like 6 people, I think, in our program. It was like there was barely like anybody, compared to what there is probably now in computer science. But computer science has never been about teaching you to be a software developer. That's just like the most common
But
path out of it.
people, right? But people, when they want to be, back in my day, when people wanted to be a software developer, the first thought was you had to get a computer science degree,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And my argument is
It's not that
that's no
way.
longer the case, and the consequence is I wonder if computer science programs are now being abandoned by universities.
Yeah, but you don't need that to be like a front end developer, really. There's no reason to have a computer science degree for front end development. Mostly you're just, I mean, you're writing some code, but it's just not the same. It's not the same as like writing back end code or really heavy like algorithmic code.
I would argue, I would agree with you. It's still very useful, especially you're still dealing with memory
I mean, it's
constraints
useful.
on
Yeah.
clients, cell
Yeah.
phones. So your understanding of the heap versus the stack, debugging, like, and you need to have a conversation with engineers, and you need to like that stuff is helpful. But yeah, I agree with you. It's not necessary.
Yeah. I mean, most of that stuff's handled like the browser. I mean, for the most, like, I don't actually couldn't tell you how JavaScript is implemented from a heap and like a heap stack standpoint. I have no concept of if the objects are allocated just on the heap or not. If is there a heap even? I know in C sharp how that's structured, and I know how C is structured, and I know how it's like on a computer it's structured, but I don't know how a browser and a JavaScript engine if they have modeled it the same way. I mean, I
It was
assume so
more
because it's kind of
it
a
was more
standard
relevant
practice, but
25, 30 years ago
yeah, we need to do
when
manual memory
when
management.
stuff was extremely scarce, memory
Yeah,
and CPU utilization.
yeah, that's why I got into like this habit of, because I wrote C code for so long, and any memory management you'd have to do yourself. So like I got in a pretty good habit of saying this method opens some sort of resource and then closes it at the end, and everything had to open where close it within the scope of where you opened it. And I always took the contents of that usage out, so I'd have layers of like just allocation code, then finally down to what you actually were trying to accomplish. But yeah, I know what you mean. It's I don't know. I miss those days actually now. I'd much rather work back on like
We need to purge developers.
non-web code.
Purge them.
But I don't know. Maybe I'll just become a hamburger salesman. Because I don't know what else I'm going to do. Clean septic tanks, maybe. Could make good
Join
money
me.
cleaning
Move to El
septic tanks.
Paso.
I don't think I'm kicking in any doors.
You're not going to bring a van and go to a Home Depot parking lot?
No, I did watch a skit once where somebody did that. They filled up a van and they went to the immigration office.
Yeah. Oh, really?
And then they like ran off. The guy's like,
People already thought about it. Because that's straight what I was going to do.
I'm sure that happens more often than you'd think. Yeah.
On that note, it's 10 till 9.
Yeah.
It's been real.
No Gamlor this week. How am I gonna survive a week without Gamlor in my life?
I learned the difference between Nordic and
Switzerland.
Scandinavian.
Oh, really? So what's the distinction? Is it a subclass or is it like?
So I met this lady on the beach, and it's weird because I heard the term Nordic like 2 times within like 24 hours, and I'm like,
the Nordic blast.
What is Nordic, right? So Nordic, I think, is like 3 or 4 countries that are like really, really cold. It's like Iceland. I don't know if it's Sweden or Switzerland. I keep getting those 2 countries confused. Sweden,
Norway, Sweden, Finland,
and
Denmark.
I don't know if she said Denmark.
But I thought those were all Scandinavian countries, or is it only?
So Scandinavia. So
is it only
Nordic.
Sweden and Norwegian are Scandinavians?
My understanding was one is a subset of the other.
Yeah, so Scandinavian would be a subset of Nordic then, probably.
Well, Nordic countries are the really, really cold countries. The Scandinavian countries are the really, really large men that are like the average height tends to be 6 foot and taller.
Okay. So I know Norway and Sweden are Scandinavian countries.
Okay.
For sure. Finland? Is that included? Denmark and Iceland.
I think so. You
know
what?
like
we have the internet. Hold up. It amazes me how much we try to figure things out on our own. Hold up.
Did you hear that Sweden put barcodes on the side of all their warships?
Why? Because of the Hutus?
No, so when they come to port, they can Scandinavian.
Yeah, you're right. So Sweden, Norway, Denmark, Finland, and Iceland.
Yeah. Those are Scandinavian countries or Nordic countries?
Those are Nordic countries.
Okay, so Scandinavian is probably Norway or Sweden, Norway then. And maybe Denmark. But I don't know if Finland and Iceland are included.
Scandinavian countries are Sweden, Finland, Greenland.
Oh, Greenland.
Islands.
Oh,
Iceland,
so
Norway, Denmark, Faroe Islands.
So Scandinavian.
They look like it's the same thing. It's
Scandinavian
just like some islands are added.
Okay. All right. So it's a broader term. I thought Scandinavian was a more narrow term, but Nordic is a subset of Scandinavian. Did you not get that joke that I just said?
No. What did you say?
I said the barcodes on the warships. So when the Swedish arm or Navy comes in, they can Scandinavian.
I didn't hear that part.
So
that's pretty dumb. I hope you didn't make that up.
No, I didn't. I did not make that up. I caught it one morning and I thought it was hilarious. So one of my bad.
It wasn't.
Bad dad jokes, I guess. Like I don't know if I think I came up with this one was you know what a good thing about a cannibal lion is?
Hold up. Oh, well, YouTube Premium. Regarding the ghost jobs and no hiring, there's two major contributors from what I've heard.
Maybe Gambler's YouTube Premium. But what was I saying? Do you know what the good thing about a cannibal lion is?
An accountable lion?
No, a cannibal.
Cannibal lion?
Yeah,
What's a good thing about a cannibal lion?
yeah. They know how to swallow their pride.
You heard the joke about Visual Basic? I think I said this to you before.
I've
Visual
heard the one
Basic.
about C++, but I don't know about Visual Basic.
What's the C++ joke?
The C++ one is C++ is the only language where your friends can play with your private members.
I thought that was Visual Basic.
No, it's C++. I don't know if they have a friend.
Visual Basic has friend.
Well, C++
I don't
says
think C++
friends too.
has friend.
It says friends. Friends can play with your private members.
Oh, yeah, that was the joke I was going to say.
Yeah. Oh
So,
man.
on that note, it's been
That's good.
real.
All right.
I was
Maybe
hoping that
maybe Gambler
this-
is YouTube Premium.
well, YouTube is that's literally their name because YouTube is spelled with a capital Y and a capital T. Yeah, I think it's someone different. Section
Oh, their
174
name is
of the U.S. tax law kicked in a few years ago. This change makes bootstrapped software businesses unsustainable. Basically, all costs related to R&D cannot be expensed.
Let's see. Section
This cost has to be
174 fixed
capitalized.
passed by the House. When was this?
I don't think Gambler is going to. So, one, I know this isn't Gambler because Gambler doesn't care about United States taxes.
But they fixed it just as of the end of January. So the HR 7024, which includes the repeal of 174, was passed by the House.
Okay.
The bill restores the ability of American businesses to fully deduct research and development expenses in the year they were incurred, not occurred. It's retroactive to the tax year 2022. Holy moly! So if you had like a huge R&D costs in 2023, you can now expense everything.
Well, I thought he just said that you can't.
No, they repealed that.
Did I misread something?
No, I think well, I just Googled it and now it looks like that's
Oh,
out of date
okay.
information. He would be, or she or he would be right. They, them.
It's likely a he. Let's be real.
It's HR 7024, the Tax Relief for American Families and Workers Act of 2024. But that's the they did the they repealed that section of it. So
That would make sense, especially when Biden
I didn't
wants
know
to
they
bring.
did. I didn't even know it was in place.
Biden wants to bring chip making to the United States.
Dude, we make lots of chips, dude. We got Lay's, got old Dutch, got all the chips. I should quit.
That was funny. Fritos.
Yeah. So, do you have old Dutch chips down in Florida?
No.
Okay.
No.
Well, we have this old Dutch brand, and there's one of my brother-in-law's friends would call it the old Ouch brand because it looks like the D kind of looks like an O, so it looks like old Ouch. Anyways.
You're welcome, YouTube Premium.
Yeah, thanks. YouTube
What is the
Premium.
phrase? What
I
does the
think YouTube
phrase mean?
Premium's our new gambler.
He said he's not.
I know, but he's going to be our new gambler.
Oh, got it.
He's not a gambler, but he doesn't know who Gamlor is.
Gamlor.
Gamlor is like the one guy who watched.
Yeah, when Gamlor starts coming back and starts commenting like, "Oh, we don't need your comments anymore. We have YouTube Premium now."
Yeah. He's gonna be so confused. We got YouTube Premium. We don't need you anymore.
He has a cooler name. No, it's GAM. It's GAMLOR.
Gamlor. Wasn't he a different name on a different site though?
Yeah, it was. I can't remember his name, but yes. I cannot remember his name.
Probably some very Swiss name.
It's probably like Sissy or something.
Like Little Debbie. Anyways,
I was about to say something before we part, and I forgot. I don't know. I guess it's not important.
Yeah.
All right, I'm about to get ready to go to Home Depot.
All right. All right.
Thanks for the interview questions. I'm pretty confident. Like I said, I'm just going to probably binge read on OAuth, how it works, and then I think I should be good. So
yeah.
All right, peace. Thanks, everybody. See you, YouTube Premium. Bye, Sean. I almost forgot your name, Sean. See you.
See ya. Bye.
Yeah.